we all have to plan ahead. Any kind of excavation can damage Australia's underground infrastructure. Gas, electricity, water, and communications. Dial Before You Dig is the essential first step of safe excavation. Go online anytime at 1100.com.au.
The Dial Before You Dig conditions set it up nicely for today. 25-degree temperature, a little bit of breeze, and that swell will provide a test for our crews from right around the country. With the result here, the way things have panned out today, and for Dial Before You Dig from Cooks Hill, they could finish in the top 5. So lap 1 of 2, and it's a pretty even line out the back. There doesn't appear to be any sort of swell to build on here. Dial Before You Dig, Cooks Hill 3rd. Well, the men are getting ready for the final here at the Chic Hydro Ocean Thunder. 6 boats in this final. Alley 1, Southern Fasters, North Cronulla. Culligan Water, Bilgola Gold. Dial Before You Dig, Mona Vale. Snare is a little bit of trouble looming here for Culligan Water. They've gone sideways into the wave, headed towards Dial Before You Dig, Mona Vale. Boats will almost touch. Now having to correct that.
Just copped the wave at the wrong time. Slewed, that means going sideways onto the wave, and lost so many boat lengths.
Riley and Sons Mammoth thought play no part in the finish. Dial Before You Dig, Mona Vale might though. And what an outstanding crew they are, the current national champions.
They ran into bad luck in the last round and got knocked out early. They weren't happy either, so they're really trying to make amends now in the final, their final chance to knock up a win as well today.
What a result if St George Leeds Club Bulli can come through here. I mean, 2 of their crew, the stroke pair, still eligible to race in the under-23s.
Mona Vale, they're looking so strong, so in time. They should be ridiculously fatigued, but they're just looking so good as you see them catch that wave. And 11 races today, and just such a great performance from Mona Vale there. They've skipped clear of St George Leagues Club, the yellow boat right out on the right of picture there. But this is going to be a commanding victory really from Dial Before You Dig, Mona Vale, the national champions. St George Leagues Club have had an outstanding day and should finish second in the final. But look at this, you don't expect to be able to walk up the beach against such top company as this in the Chic Hydro Ocean Thunder, but they've done it today. Congratulations, guys. How does it finally win to break through and get a win in the Ocean Thunder?
Yeah, it's good. We made some mistakes the last 2 races, and I was pretty dirty on myself, and today it finally went to plan, so it's really good. Really happy for us. The guys are a little bit jaded. I think Dominic felt a bit, being the sponsor from Dial Before You Dig. He was biting his fingernails till the end.
So basically, we're all in the apartment. Alarm goes off, everyone's racing for the fire exits, come out here, and then we see they've hit a gas light or a gas main, and it's been about an hour since we've been allowed to go back in. What happened? You just hear the evacuate now, fire. We've got a sort of a fire signal warning, and there was something similar happen sort of a few years ago, so everyone's sort of thinking a little bit about could it be the same thing or what happens. Yeah, you can smell gas all through the fire exits, which was interesting because people were obviously thinking that coming from sort of 15 floors up, it was sort of getting more and more as it got to the bottom.
Saloon Cars are back this weekend for some high-speed thrills. Rebecca Drummond is here for a chat. Rebecca, you're racing an AU Falcon for the first time this weekend. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, Mark Primmer and the Dial Before You Dig team let me drive their car this weekend, which is fantastic. I'm very grateful. It's a very different car to drive compared to my EA Falcon. Very, very much faster, which was very surprising. So a little bit harder to get used to. I had to change my driving style, but it's definitely a lot of fun, and it's a big learning curve, but really enjoying it.
The Dial Before You Dig Australian Saloon Car Series gets more and more competitive every time it hits the racetrack in 2012, and coming into round 3 here at Winton Motor Raceway, Simon Tabernaur leads the standings. Usual close contact, close quarters racing in the Dial Before You Dig Saloon Car Series. Hopefully there's no dialling needed, because we don't want to see anyone having to dig themselves out of these deep Winton sand traps that have claimed a few victims this 60th anniversary Shannon's Nationals round.
Grass all over the track. There's a big battle going on further back in the field.
Mark Primmer up the inside of the
sideways.
31. Oh, hang on to that. Good job. Lonnie's going to get a good run out of the corner. Phelan will do the same.
Remember the slow in, fast out analogy?
Yeah, well, that was slow in, slow out, I think, for Mark Primmer. Didn't quite work so well. Special mention to Beck Drummond, who got to the finish in a borrowed racing car.
Hidden hazards lurk beneath the ground too. Before you start work, dial 1100 or visit the Dial Before You Dig website 1100.com.au and consult the local authority to find out the location of underground cables. Remember, it's the law, so it's the essential first step for every job.
It's round 5 of the Dial Before You Dig Australian Saloon Car Series. There's a nice breeze blowing across the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. That's the surf, actually not too much of it today. Sprint car race John McCorkindale is making the change to the Australian Saloon Car Series this weekend and says it was the support of a sponsor that made it happen.
We have Dial Before You Dig on board for our sprint car, and we've had talks with Mark and Dial Before You Dig, and we've sorted out a deal for the Phillip Island weekend, and we've jumped in. We started racing go-karts 10 years ago, and then we moved from karts to sprint cars, and we've been in sprint cars for 4 years, and this is our first time in a tar car. We met up with Mark every year, and we've always been in his year. We've hassled him all the time, and we got a hold of Dominic from Dial Before You Dig, and we've sorted out a deal where we can all jump in and have fun, and yeah, that's how it all sort of come about. Look, I'm open to all types of racing. I'd love to jump into anything. So if I can get a deal with any type of racing, I'm certainly up for it. But at the moment, sprint cars is our focus. I've got my own team, but if I can get a deal with any other type of racing, I'm definitely there. There's nothing you can describe a sprint car. It's balls to the wall, hold on, and it's sort of a bit insane, but it's good fun. Top 10, realistic. Dream, podium, of course. But it's pretty hectic out there during the racing, and so we'll just see how we go from there.
To have that margin dropped going into the final few rounds of the year, so only a few to go after this one. Very important that he gets some points. Now, that was John McCorkindale from the Sydney Speedway side of things in the sprint cars. He's a very successful young man and very experienced in that side of the sport. But this is his first opportunity. I spoke to Mark Primmer before the round. He's driving one of the Dial Before You Dig Fords this weekend, and he said, mate, he just took to it like a duck to water. First lap out at Eastern Creek, they went and did a test, and he was right on the pace. So he's got plenty of talent. One of the finds of 2012 as we go back on board with McCorkindale. and there's some side-by-side racing further up. Hasn't it been a Holden-dominated weekend?
Well, the West Australians acquit themselves well. This track, they just happen to be in Holden's here this weekend. There is Rumble, I think, in the Dial Before You Dig car, and Chivas. These guys having their own battle. Keeping our ears to the road as well, Richard, as we try to see where Simon Taberner is. He's had a big push from the back of the field after a gearbox failure in race 1. He went off the back of the grid in race 2, has worked his way through the field, all over the back of the cleaned up car of Harley Phelan here.
Welcome to round 1 of the Schick Hydro Ocean Thunder Pro Surfboat Series for 2012-13. It's got them good enough to get through to the final 10. Well, in fact, it was going to be a final 10. It ended up a final 11. Right on the bubble, the Bondi crew, sponsored by Dial Before You Dig, and Manly crew, sponsored by Manly Harris Farm, they picked up identical points through the 4 rounds, 3, 2, 4 and 1, so both go through.
Bondi just getting smashed by one there, and just mention it, just slows the boat down if you face another wave there.
This is cosy racing here. North Cottesloe and Bondi side by side. They've now been stalled totally. The Bilgola girls as well to claim round number 1 of the Schick Hydro Ocean Thunder. Helensburgh Stanwell Park ahead of North Cottesloe and Mona Vale. And our top 15, Austin Mere won 4 of the 6 races. Manly, Mona Vale, Bulli and Currumbin. Also the second of the Currumbin cruise through with Matt Wildman as sweep, Bateman's Bay, Bungan Beach. And you see the final 5 there, Bilgola, Bondi, Mona Vale, Newport and Wollongong City. The hard luck story, always one boat has to miss out by a point. It was Maruya today, the Dial Before You Dig crew with 16 points. Bondi crew looking really strong, and this southern end of DY Beach proving favourable for the early races today, and they're making the most of it. In second position, right beside them, the Newport crew, that Sheldon Office fit-outs boat that had a number of spills in the preliminary rounds, but still able to make it through to this stage.
And you can see there, Bondi, they've got a runner and they've managed to turn that into a wave. Harvey Barrett, the sweep there, managing to balance the boat and get them in safely. He actually taught me how to row, Harvey.
Collaroy, Currumbin with Lyle Clark the sweep, Mona Vale, Bryce Munro.
You can see we're on board Bryce Munro's crew from Mona Vale. They are, of course, the Australian men's champions for the past 2 years, and certainly going to want to open their Ocean Thunder campaign strongly today.
But here's the bottom line. Those 3 crews have made it through first, second and third, and Bilgola also through. Bondi, Wollongong City miss out.
One of the boys jumped out and I chased after, and luckily I've just did the goal, so I had a bit of swim fitness behind me and jumped on a wave, and the legs gave up on the run, had nothing.
They're in starters' hands right there. What a lineup it is for this first semi. There is so much ability there, and so many well-credentialed crews. Bateman's Bay, Currumbin, Austin Mere and Mona Vale. We're talking about former champions. Right here, right now, the Dial Before You Dig Mona Vale crew rounding the cans. Let's just check. Yes, that is confirmed. Rounding the cans and in the box seat to go through to the final, be the first boat through. Well, they will need some luck from the back of the field now. They've hit a bit of dead water here. Dial Before You Dig Mona Vale. Look at this. All of a sudden, you end up with 3 and 4 all in a line. Starrett have done a marvellous job out left of picture in alley number 1. This is the best finish of the day. It'll boil down to the run up the beach, and Mona Vale have hit the sand nice and clean. 2, 3. Let's check the lineup. 6 boats involved. The 2 Currumbin crews, Austin Mere, Manly, Mona Vale and Bilgola. They are a long way apart.
And looks as though Mona Vale has turned the cans first. You can see Bryce Munro checking out where Lyle Clark's Currumbin crew is, and just trying to get a strong start off that Boyo turn so they can head back to the beach. I tell you,
it's like running the straight 6 at Flemington. One's on the inside fence and one's on the outside fence, and that's what we've got here. And the one on the outside fence, Brett's Hardware from Currumbin, have had a miraculous run. Well, this is sensational from Lyle Clark.
They've got a runner from out the back, and they managed to stay onto it as it turned into a wave. They've taken that advantage. Incredible work from them.
And just like that, it changes. And just like that, they claim the first round and make it look like it's been a stroll. Mona Vale second, Austinmere third.
They've got a massive lead at this stage.
Howie, don't talk now.
That looks to be Mona Vale trying to pull themselves onto a wave. That is the Mona Vale crew. Bryce Munro is doing the job. Currumbin, they'll be shaking their heads in the surf club up there at the moment. And Mona Vale look like they're on a beauty.
Well, how far are we to the line, though? They're on a beauty. They've got momentum.
They're going to catch up.
Not far.
Nick, they're going to catch up. I tell you what, it's nothing in this. It's amazing.
Look at the sweeps willing them on.
Currumbin is pulling in flat water at this stage. Mona Vale, their man, has used every little bit of that. Mona Vale's got the advantage. The line can't be too far away. Currumbin is dead still. Mona Vale look like they're making the move. Currumbin move into them. Mona Vale, you can see the boys have got the hands in the air.
This extension won't come cheap, but it could have cost a lot more. If we'd excavated where we planned, chances are we would have damaged water, sewer and gas lines. And as an owner-builder, I could have been up for the charges.
Damaging ActewAGL's pipes, cables or poles when you're building could be dangerous and expensive. So find out where our services are located, above and below the ground.
Lucky Nick got me to call dial before you dig.
A safety message from ActewAGL for you.